Winning independence was only the beginning of the American experiment. After the Revolution, the United States faced a fundamental question: how could 13 former colonies become a stable, unified, and functioning republic? The period known as the Early American Republic was the formative era during which the United States established its political institutions, developed its economy, defined its foreign policy, expanded its territory, and shaped its emerging national identity. This period extended broadly from the adoption of the Constitution in the late 18th century through the first decades of the 19th century. The early American Republic began with the establishment of the new constitutional government in 1789. The United States Constitution had created a federal system based on representative government, separation of powers, checks and balances, and the rule of law. However, the Constitution provided only the general framework. The first generation of American leaders had to transform that framework into functioning institutions. George Washington became the first president of the United States in 1789. His presidency was particularly important because many features of the executive branch had not yet been clearly defined in practice. Washington helped establish several important precedents. He created a cabinet of advisors, communicated regularly with Congress, respected the constitutional division of powers, and presented the presidency as an office of national responsibility rather than personal authority. His first cabinet included prominent figures such as Thomas Jefferson, who served as Secretary of State, and Alexander Hamilton, who served as Secretary of the Treasury. Hamilton played a central role in establishing the financial foundations of the new republic. He proposed that the federal government assume state debts from the Revolutionary War, create a national bank, develop a stable national currency, and strengthen public credit. These policies were designed to promote economic stability, encourage commerce, and reinforce confidence in the national government. During this period, the federal judiciary was also established. The Judiciary Act of 1789 organized the national court system and defined the relationship between federal and state courts. The Supreme Court gradually became an important institution within the constitutional framework. One of its most consequential early decisions was Marbury v. Madison in 1803. Under Chief Justice John Marshall, the Supreme Court established the principle of judicial review. This gave federal courts the authority to evaluate whether laws and government actions were consistent with the Constitution. The early republic also witnessed the development of political parties. Although many founders initially hoped to avoid organized political factions, differing visions of government soon emerged. The Federalists, associated with Alexander Hamilton, supported a strong national government, commercial development, and close cooperation between public institutions and economic interests. The Democratic Republicans, associated with Thomas Jefferson and James Madison, emphasized states' rights, agricultural society, individual liberty, and a more limited interpretation of federal power. These political groupings became the foundations of the first American party system. Their emergence demonstrated that political disagreement could be organized through elections, public debate, newspapers, and constitutional institutions. The election of 1800 was a particularly important moment. Thomas Jefferson defeated the incumbent president, John Adams. Power passed peacefully from the Federalist Party to the Democratic-Republican Party. This peaceful transition demonstrated that political leadership could change through elections rather than conflict. Jefferson referred to the event as a revolution because it represented a major change in political direction achieved through constitutional means. During Jefferson's presidency, the territorial size of the United States expanded considerably. In 1803, the United States purchased the Louisiana Territory from France. The Louisiana Purchase approximately doubled the country's territory and gave the United States control of vast lands west of the Mississippi River. Jefferson commissioned Meriwether Lewis and William Clark to explore the newly acquired territory. Their expedition, conducted between 1804 and 1806, gathered information about geography, natural resources, trade routes, and the diverse peoples inhabiting the region. The Louisiana Purchase strengthened the country's economic and strategic position and encouraged further westward development. The early republic was also a period in which the United States defined its relationship with other nations. American leaders sought to preserve national independence while maintaining commercial relations with European powers. Washington's farewell address encouraged the country to avoid permanent political entanglements and to protect its freedom of action. At the same time, the United States developed diplomatic relations, expanded international trade, and defended its interests abroad. The War of 1812 represented an important stage in this process. The United States entered the conflict with Britain over issues including maritime rights, trade restrictions, and national sovereignty. The war concluded with the Treaty of Ghent in 1814. It strengthened national confidence and contributed to a growing sense of American identity. One of the most memorable events occurred at Fort McHenry in Baltimore, where an American flag remained flying after a British bombardment. This event inspired Francis Scott Key to write the poem that later became the national anthem, The Star-Spangled Banner. Following the war, the United States entered a period of increased national development. The federal government supported roads, canals, transportation networks, and commercial expansion. New industries emerged, cities grew, and trade increased among different regions of the country. Projects such as the National Road and the Erie Canal helped connect farms, towns, ports, and markets. This economic transformation contributed to what became known as the Market Revolution. The early 19th century also witnessed the admission of new states into the Union. As settlers moved westward, new communities established governments and applied for statehood. This process expanded the geographical and political dimensions of the Republic. American national identity was further reinforced during the presidency of James Monroe. In 1823, Monroe announced what became known as the Monroe Doctrine. The doctrine declared that the Western Hemisphere should no longer be considered open to new European colonization. It also expressed the United States' intention to preserve its political independence and support the sovereignty of nations in the Americas. Although the early republic was led by prominent political figures, its development also depended on ordinary citizens. Farmers, merchants, artisans, teachers, religious communities, writers, soldiers, and civic organizations contributed to the growth of the country. Newspapers expanded political communication, voluntary associations promoted community initiatives, and public discussion became an increasingly important feature of American civic life. Education was also viewed as essential to Republican government. Many Americans believed that a representative system required informed, responsible, and civically engaged citizens. Schools, colleges, libraries, newspapers, and public lectures therefore played an important role in shaping civic knowledge and national consciousness. The early American Republic was the period in which the ideals of the Revolution were transformed into functioning political institutions. During these formative decades, the United States established its presidency, Congress, judiciary, financial system, political parties, diplomatic principles, and mechanisms for peaceful political transition. The country also expanded territorially, developed economically, and cultivated a stronger sense of national identity. The importance of this period lies in the consolidation of the American constitutional experiment. The early republic demonstrated that a newly independent nation could govern itself through elected institutions, constitutional procedures, public debate, and the rule of law. It therefore laid the foundations for the political, economic, and institutional development of the United States.